And we've also been talking on the show about new tension points in Donald Trump's trade war with Canada over the U.S. ambassador making remarks about Canadians boycotting American travel and booze. And BC Premier David Eby did not hold back in his response. Janice McGregor joins us live from Washington with more on all this. Janice, what did the ambassador say? Let's start there.
Yeah, indeed. You know, Megan was just talking about sort of big projects, but this is a story about Canadians' small actions really adding up. Donald Trump's top diplomat in Canada is Pete Hoekstra. He was speaking this week at an annual summit for business and political leaders from the Pacific Northwest Economic Region. That conference was held in Bellevue, Washington State. And he was asked by the moderator about the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Vancouver and Seattle both hosting matches, and of course they want to get full economic benefits from the cost of hosting the World Cup. He was asked about how to get tourists crossing the border between Canada and the U.S. again. Hoekstra said that if Canadians are staying home, that's their business. He said he doesn't like it, but if that's what they want to do, it's fine. He also said if Canadians want to ban American alcohol, that's also fine. But what he said next suggests that maybe it's really not all that fine with him. Hoekstra said that actions like these, consumer boycotts, are the reason that President Trump and some of his team have referred to Canada as being mean and nasty to deal with. Now, BC Premier David Eby's government is kind of part of this summit, and he didn't think much of these comments. Here's what he said on Power and Politics last night.
What's your sense of just the depths of the understanding the Americans have about sort of the offense that has been done to Canada here?
I really think that at the leadership levels, there's very little awareness. The ambassador specifically said that Canadians were mean and nasty for not buying American alcohol and for boycotting the U.S. in terms of travel. And at the same time, do they think that Canadians are not going to respond when the president says, I want to turn you into the 51st state and beggar you economically unless you bow to the U.S.? Obviously, Canadians are outraged. I say Canadians stick with it, hold the line.
At this same conference, the ambassador also scoffed that, look, Americans can get their alcohol back and forth across the border if they want to. He said that no one checks his car when he goes back home to his home state of Michigan and then crosses back into Canada for his role. But have to point out here, that ambassador gets to cross that border with a diplomatic passport. He has privileges because he is the ambassador. If you are an ordinary Canadian or American, when you are crossing, you have to declare your booze. You are subject to specific limits for personal use. And if you are caught with more than that, then you are going to pay duties. And everyone who knows, everyone who crosses that border knows that those border officers do check trunks.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Good point there, Janice. And while that new drama is playing out, we know that Democratic senators met with the Prime Minister yesterday in Ottawa, and they took a very different tone, even rocking some friendship bracelets after they were asked about the impact Canadian consumers are having on the U.S. Walk us through that part of the story.
Yeah, a little compare and contrast here, because they were not calling people names, as you say. The embassy had given them some friendship bracelets. They were pretty clear that they want Canadians to come back aboard here. I want you to listen to New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan and Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada, both Democrats, we should note.
To our friends and neighbors in Canada, the Granite State sends you our greetings and says we miss you, because we know that the instability in our relationship right now has meant that some Canadians have decided to stay away from their favorite American tourist spots, and we hope you will come back. And it's not just that we miss your business, which of course every good business person does, but we miss your friendship.
We are seeing a decrease in the travel from Canadians to Nevada. 30% of our international travel are Canadians, and we're seeing an impact to our state.
So, turns out what isn't happening in Vegas is staying in Vegas, visiting the Strip, dining out, shopping on the U.S. side. Individual Canadians may wonder if the decisions they're making about how to spend their tourist dollar, for example, what drinks are in Canadian glasses this summer, whether that makes a difference. I think from these clips you can see that it is getting noticed. It does turn up the heat on politicians to sort out this trade war before any more businesses are harmed.
Certainly riling up the ambassador there as well, as we saw. Janice, thank you very much for this. Janice McGregor in Washington.